Hi, I'm Dewey Thompson, creative director at Pickerel Pie. In this episode, I'm going to talk about a mysterious and little discussed element of filmmaking that connects objects, covers time, layers themes, and without which films, and especially corporate video, could not really exist. This essential dark matter of the video universe is called B-roll. And fittingly, I'm going to get a little digressive in describing what it is, how it works, and the role it plays in film narrative. First, the term B-roll comes from the time when film was edited from multiple rolls on a flatbed editing machine. The main action, typically actors speaking, was the A-roll.
He really must be a wonderful wizard to live in a city like that.
The other shots, basically anything that didn't speak, like shots of scenery that could be used to cover edits in the actor's dialogue or show what they were looking at, was called the B-roll. Because it's often used to cover someone speaking or while other sounds play over it, B-roll is typically filmed without recording sound, the film term for which is MOS. There's a debate about the origin of the term MOS, but my favorite is that it's derived from the early days of Hollywood, dominated by German directors who had trouble saying the word with and would call out that a shot would be without sound. In documentary-style filmmaking, the form that most corporate video follows, B-roll is even more essential because the viewer must be given something to look at while a narrator or someone being interviewed speaks.
Problems. Nobody likes problems.
Both to illustrate what they're saying and to cover edits in their narration.
At IBM, problems actually inspire us.
But, as you can imagine, the focus of production is typically on A-roll, the people doing things or speaking.
Joe Exotic for the people of America. How's that?
And B-roll is often overlooked, not adequately planned for, rushed, and generally given short shrift. In fact, on big shoots, some B-roll is often filmed by another camera crew altogether, sometimes sent off on their own. They're called the second unit. Another example of how B-roll can get marginalized in a production. Here's the thing. It turns out that you always need much more B-roll than you expected, and the quality of the B-roll can really have a big impact on the visual impression your video delivers. So, what kinds of things make good B-roll? If it's covering someone who's speaking, B-roll can pick up a part of the speaker's body, typically a gesture with their hands that can underscore what they're saying, or some aspect of the setting to give the viewer more information about them and where they are. Or B-roll literally illustrates the thing being described by the narrator.
Eli was an assistant professor of English literature at Brooks College. The recent publication of his second novel had earned him a sudden, unexpected literary celebrity.
Or it can offer viewers something metaphorical, poetic, and possibly thematic without being literal.
There are two ways through life. The way of nature and the way of grace. You have to choose which one you'll follow.
One of the unfortunate characteristics of a lot of corporate video is its reliance on stock photos and footage as B-roll. Stock varies widely in quality, and what I'm referring to here are typically staged scenes that are then packaged and sold for use in videos and presentations. The strange, synthetic world of stock footage is worth its own episode, but suffice it to say that it tends to look like androids plotting in some brightly lit dystopia, and their first victim will be any authenticity your video would have had. I'm hoping that you'll now look at films and videos with a new appreciation for that dark matter holding them together, and really think about the way B-roll can play a starring role in your next project.